All right, and we're live. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Multiverse Show, episode 96, the greatest show on Mondays. We got some good topics we got to discuss today and lots of cool stuff. We really lucked out this week. We have topics galore. We're not just going to BS like we've been doing the last 2 months. So let's get rolling into it. But first off, on the docket, we got to do some intros. First up, finally making his triumphant return, the voice of the people, the Titan of Texas, Fame Entertainment.
What's going on, people? Fame Entertainment here from TICGN.com. Welcome to episode 96 of the Multiverse Show, the absolutely greatest show on a Monday. Thank you guys for rocking with us once again. And yes, I have returned. My apologies for being away. And I am here, unlike Samuel thinks, to bring the energy. Yeah, buddy.
All right. And James is taking off tonight. He's been holding down the fort with us the last few weeks, so he's got to take a break. He's got to work in the morning. So that leaves us with Undead, who's not here, which is very strange, especially for him. He doesn't normally miss like this. So, well, I guess we got to dock his pay this week. No Patreon money for him. So, all right, and so that leaves us with the Don Deletion, your Italian companion, the infamous Mike P. The Truth.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Mike. Thank you for joining us for another wonderful episode of the Multiverse Show as we start our count to episode 100. Thank you for joining us tonight. As always, we got a nice docket of topics for you guys, so let's get started.
And we have the Butcher Block, the White Wolf, editor, Samuel Tolbert.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us again. Hope you're all having a really good evening. We have a ton of fantastic topics, so get your Bethesda on and let's get started.
All right, so let's get into some of these topics. But as we ask every single week, what have you guys been playing? Fame, since you've been playing hooky for the last month, what have you been playing, sir?
Well, of course, I did finish God of War. I just recently finished Beyond Two Souls yesterday. And I will be starting playing Laser League tonight. I got to play Laser League actually back in January at PAX South. 505 was gracious enough to put us in this little room and let us play it. It's actually a really fun game. So, yeah, I finished God of War, finished Beyond Two Souls. One playthrough, so I'm not going to keep replaying through that game just to get multiple endings. That's what YouTube is for. And, yeah, I'll be playing some Laser League starting tonight.
Dude, I started playing Laser League like about an hour ago. Oh, my God, dude. Like,
I told you guys in the
so
chat.
Tense.
I told you guys. I said, hey, I need an Xbox partner. I got my partner on PS4. I need Xbox partners. Nobody said nothing. Y'all didn't know what it was.
I had no idea what you were talking about.
It's on Game Pass, right?
Yeah, it's on Game Pass. I just downloaded it.
Oh, I got to download it too then.
It's $15. It's $15, dude. Like, even without Game Pass, it is so fun. Like,
I'm about to download it when we're done.
Like, Rocket League is one example, but with Rocket League, it's more kind of random. Like, people just drive around, hit the ball, whatever. But, like, Laser League is, like, one of the most intense strategic games I've ever played. It is, like, we played one match, and I played my first online match, and we lost, but we got down to the final bit. Like, whoever won this last thing was going to win the whole thing. I was sweating bullets. I was sweating on par with being in the top 5 in PUBG. Like,
I forget what the ability is. I'm that one guy. I'm that one asshole that's constantly changing the color. Like, I don't like the slash. I forgot what it's called, but he can change your color into our team's color.
Oh, yeah, there's the thief. The thief.
Yeah, that's my go-to character. Like, I wreck shop with that character.
I'm debating right now. I tried the shot guy, not feeling it. I tried the blade guy. I was doing okay. I feel a more shield dude though, like knocking people like way back into something. I'm digging that. But anyway, so that's I'm really digging that game. Laser League is a blast. Definitely go check it out. Game Pass, totally awesome. It's on PlayStation as well, so go please play the game. It's a lot of fun. So, Sam, what you've been playing?
Well, I've been playing a little bit of Frostpunk, which I put up a review a couple of weeks ago. It's a pretty fun game. Nice little city building survival sim. Played a little bit of Sea of Thieves. That was a lot of fun. Oh, yeah, and I've also been playing a lot of State of Decay 2 in prep for my review, which will go live 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 17th. It is a ton of fun. It's fantastic. I don't know if any of you guys read my impressions that I posted earlier or not, but just to summarize, it's a fantastic game. It's not a re-envisioning, but it's the vision that the first game tried to do realized. Everything is a lot better. Co-op functions really well. The only issue right now is a couple of performance drops that I think they need to tighten up before the game actually launches. But if you enjoy managing communities and survival and, story told through the radio about these government conspiracies, about how the outbreak started or things like that, it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoing it.
Sam, you ruined my opportunity for a joke. You ruined my opportunity. You were going to say, you guys read my interview, and I was going to say, nope, boy, I don't read. I can't read like Kratos can't read.
I'm sorry I ruined your joke.
All right.
But in all seriousness, don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it.
All right, dude. So, Mike, what you been playing, sir?
All right, so since last time I was on, I did complete God of War, which was absolutely phenomenal, especially the ending and how they leave it off for the next game if you get the true ending. Like, that was one of those games where it was so good, you feel like you just want to like decompress and play like low stress type of games after that before you start back up something else. So since I finished God of War, I've been playing, going back to playing NBA Live, playing a little bit of Sea of Thieves, and doing some racing in Forza Motorsport 7, which if you're following me on Twitter, you know that our friend Crazy Juan of one of our tech affiliates, NLG, did a really dope multiverse library for the Lamborghini Huracan in the game. So if you play Forza 7, you support the podcast, you want to get that library, search for either Multiverse for the keyword or Crazy Juan for the creator. I thought it looked pretty dope.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw it, dude. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, he did an awesome job.
I'll give one his props. He knows how to make a good library, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So, for me, I play a little Sea of Thieves. Replayed Edith Finch again, which was a good time. It goes faster the second time, a lot faster. You pick up on other things you didn't pick up the first time, which is interesting. And it had been a while since I played it last. Other than that, though, I finished Far Cry 5. And all right, how long has Far Cry been out? Like since March, right? It's been like 2 months,
March,
right?
a couple months.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to spoil it because, like, there's nothing to spoil like about this game, honestly. Like, and I wanted Nick to be here too, which pisses me off because he finished the game before I did. And so he's been holding on to this the whole time. Far Cry 5, 1 is not good in terms of, it's not coming close to Far Cry 3. I kind of place it maybe the same level as Far Cry 4, which also wasn't good. I mean, it tries to be a little bit better, but it's hard to explain. My issues with it are largely that the game's really stupid. It's just really, really dumb. It doesn't make any sense. Like, it's the kind of game, like, it is a dude bro game. Because if you start applying any actual thought to the game, you're just going to be pissed. Like me. Example being, I counted it, you get captured like 10 times throughout the game.
Yikes.
By John, Jacob, Faith, and Joseph Seed. You capture like 10 times throughout the game. And all they do is just kind of mock you. They let you go most of the time. Like, you don't really escape very often. Like, they just capture you and they're like, oh, we're going to convert you. And then you escape, you kill that person, and then you go to the next person, and then they capture you again. They do it a couple more times, and you kill them. The next guy captures you a couple times and lets you go. And I'm like, okay, the first time I get it. Like, you want to convert him, you want to make an example out of him, I get it. That's one thing. And even the next person, like when Faith does it, she's trying a different angle. She's trying to get you like through the like to convince you like, oh, like here's a little TNA, here's a little like we're gonna win you over with drugs. Like it's something like that. But then like by the end of the game, they've caught you like 6 to 7 times already. And why don't you just kill him? Kill your character, get it over with. It makes no sense at that point. It's just really dumb. And by the end of the game, I got the ending. I got the, I don't know, was it bad or a good ending? I guess it's technically the good ending. And they pull a real fallout out of this one. Like, I'm literally sitting back thinking, Ubisoft desperately wanted some of that Fallout money. They really wanted that Fallout money. I won't say exactly what happens at the end, but like by the end of the game, they're playing creepy 1950s music. They have mind-altering drugs. They have crazy sci-fi weapons that don't exist. They have some of the weirdest, and again, they have a spoiler, which I'm not gonna say, and it's just all over the place. It's just ridiculous, and it really feels like they wanted some of that Fallout money, like just a little bit. But anyway, it was an okay game, not the best. Not even I would call it like probably in terms of the Far Cry franchise, like the middle. Like it's not good, but it's not bad either.
Mm-hmm. So
I mean, like Far Cry 3 is still the best, and that's really kind of it. I mean, it's gonna be like next week. I'm not gonna remember even playing Far Cry 5. It's just gonna be like, oh, okay, there it is. It did not leave any real lasting impression.
Well, you said they were chasing that Bethesda money. If the NPDs are any indicator, I'd say they got it, considering how well that thing sold.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Monster Hunter World had sold, how many millions of copies just in the US, and then it showed up and usurped it as the best-selling game of the year in just 1 month. So,
yeah.
But that is a little disappointing in terms of how things are handled. Would you say if someone finds it for $30 to $40 or $20, 25, whatever, that's still just a fun romp worth getting?
I would say $20. If you find it for $20.
Okay.
Like it falls into the category of Ubisoft fodder. Like you pick it up, you find it like, okay, in 6 months you're gonna find it for $30 or cheaper. Just wait.
Gotcha.
Like,
or maybe wait until it's like $40, $45 with all the DLC, stuff like that.
I don't feel like the DLC is going to be that really worth it at all. So
okay, all right.
Yeah. Anyway, random side topic. I got lost in it. It's one of those things because with Far Cry, I've always been. I loved Far Cry 3 so much. And then they have not been able to get that level back, and it hurts every time that they shove out a game and they say, "Here it is, everybody," and it's like, ugh, this is just not the level of work I wanted, not the level of quality. But anyway,
speaking of DLC, supposedly the new Destiny 2 DLC is short and trash.
Wait, that came out already?
Yeah, it did. It came out with very little fanfare.
Yeah, like
wow. I didn't even know it came out
of it at all.
Like it was literally announced. I'm not kidding you. I know because I wrote it up in a blog post, and then it was like, "Oh, by the way, we're doing one stream. Oh, by the way, here's the launch trailer the day before it comes out." It was extremely rushed. Supposedly, it's because a lot of the stuff that was originally planned for this expansion has been pulled until the codenamed Comet expansion this fall. That's what word on the street is, but I don't know. We'll see. Regardless, it has not been received well overall.
Yeah, that's not good. Man, it's just sad. That's sad to me. All right, so getting into one of our main topics for the evening. So, one of my favorites, Bethesda's back in the news. So, if you guys didn't know, back last week, Bethesda's Twitter account just started just started tweeting out a couple things, just a little bit here and there. First off, they posted a picture of the clock tower in London, but referred to as Big Ben, which is not Big Ben, but anyway. And they showed it at 5:14 on the clock face hand. It had some pink paint all over it, and they just started posting random pictures that had basically nothing to do with it. Like they showed off a rocket. They showed off at like a town square. They started posting pictures of people and in like punk rock, apocalyptic gear, just walking around having a good time. Just showing stuff like that. And so this was in response to a Walmart posting about Rage 2 coming out this year. And so Bethesda kind of got in front of it. And today they announced officially Rage 2 is coming. We don't have a release date. We don't have any of the real details. They just had here's a reveal trailer. If you look at it, there's nothing really much to glean from it, except it's going to be more colorful than Rage 1. That's
way more
pretty
colorful.
much it. Yeah. So we don't know anything else about the game. There's really no details other than it's a shooter. And that's it. But I kind of want to get your impressions on this. Are you guys interested in this kind of game? What do you think about the marketing? Basically, what you know so far. Let's start with Fame. You've been pretty quiet, dude. So, Rage 2.
You know what? I actually have the first Rage game. Never played it. I've heard mixed reviews about the first game, and I think for me, this is a good time for me to actually pop in that 360 disc into my Xbox One and give it a shot. Watching the trailer, I get the very colorful Mad Max feel. Not really sure if I'm really into that, and I actually have Mad Max, and because I got it for $5 and haven't started it. I think there's a gameplay reveal tomorrow.
Yep,
that's right.
I'm kind of going to reserve how I feel until I see the gameplay reveal, and that'll really kick it into gear for me. Like I said, I do plan on actually playing the first game. And if this gameplay is good tomorrow, it's something I'm really interested in, and I'm sure the stories may not even coexist. They might not even be in the same timeline. But depending on what I see tomorrow, really give me an idea on what I think about the game and what it's doing, and also give me the want and the feel, the hype to really go back and play the first game.
Yeah, I'm going to hold out for the gameplay too before I make any judgments on it. I didn't get a chance to see the reveal trailer, but I agree. Like, based on the artwork that they've showed on it so far, it's got this kind of like weird Mad Max meets Sunset Overdrive type of vibe to it, which I think is really cool. I think it makes the game unique, but I'm going to withhold judgment. Like, it's going to be like a straightforward first-person shooter like Doom. Are they going to go for a more open world thing like with Fallout? So it remains to be seen what direction they're going to take it.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you guys mentioned Mad Max because you know who's developing the game? Avalanche, who made the Mad Max game.
Oh, well, that explains it.
Yeah. Sam, you've played Rage 1, right?
A little bit. I need to go back and play it. This would be a great.
Give us a little. Give us a little bit of what's the game about? Because I don't think anybody.
Here's the thing: the story. Look, even among the game's defenders, no one's going to tell you it had some incredible story. Here's the story summary, and this could also fit the Wikipedia page. All right, an asteroid hits the Earth. A couple 100,000 people were frozen, put on ice in arcs. You're the only survivor of your arc. I mean, it's so Fallout in that sense. It's not even funny. You know, world goes kaboom, turns into a Mad Max style wasteland. You wake up. There's incredible gunplay. Lots of cool weapons like this 3-bladed thing. I can't remember the name of it. It's awesome. Vehicular combat. Enemies use vehicles as well. There's like mutants, big mutants, different tribes. You know, like there's the Scorchers. Or I think they were actually a DLC. But, you know, there's different tribes that are themed around different things and stuff like that. And it's infamous for just sort of ending on a big cliffhanger. And no one was really happy about that, even among the people who enjoyed it. Which is why I'm really glad to see it get a sequel after all these years, especially with Avalanche on board, because I thought Mad Max was a very underrated game. And so as a result, you know, if we can get some of that car combat in there, along with more wasteland designs combined with id refining their shooting techniques, oh yeah, it's looking like a win to me.
Yep. I'm excited. Like, I mean, I have not played Rage 1, but I got it downloading right now. So I'm
it's
gonna
like
give it a shot.
$15 if you don't have it. It's backwards compatible on Xbox One, and it's like $15.
I think it's on Game Pass now that I think about it. Let me check about that.
Yeah. You check into that for sure. Because if so, that's a steal.
Let me
That's
take a
a
look.
win for Game Pass.
Yeah, let me check about that. But I mean, I'm looking at it. I really want to. I'm interested in it, but I'm more interested in the possibilities more than anything else.
Sure.
Like that's what I'm more looking at. And so a lot of people are thinking, okay, it's going to be an open world, first person shooter, single player game, possibly co-op. And I'm sitting here like, what if it's not? Because this game is already pretty damn close to Fallout. Like in terms of tone, in terms of it's another post-apocalyptic game. The only difference is it's got cars this time. It's got cars. And I'm thinking like, what if this is kind of like a Division, Destiny kind of game? Where it's more of an online experience where you jump in with other players. And like, yeah, there's still single player stuff and there's still stuff to do like missions and stuff and raids, but what if it was like, okay, like you're doing a regular mission, then you come across some other wasteland dude who's another player. And you're just kind of like, all right, let's figure this out. Let's see what we're doing. I mean,
I would be down for that. The setting works. That kind of style works. You know, even just like a co-op shooter, so to speak. The only details they've confirmed, because I just checked the official marketing resources, what little they've put out, and the only thing they've confirmed is it's open world shooter that you can drive anywhere, shoot anything, stuff like that. That's it.
And that would fit very well. I was gonna say it would fit a need that Bethesda has because they don't really have any online games. Like they have like shovelware, like little stuff that they've been trying to do, but it would be interesting if they tried to go that route with this game because it's something that I have not seen them do just yet, and we are kind of in that mode where, okay, let's look at a game like Destiny. Destiny does not have vehicle combat or really very many vehicles at all. Mm-hmm. It's really just sparrows, and then you can do sparrow racing, and that's kind of it.
Right.
Division doesn't do anything at all, and they could have a little role there, which could be pretty interesting. So, I mean, I'm just kind of looking at that, saying that would be pretty dope.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And also, Rage is not on Game Pass.
But again, it's like $15, and if you're in the US, I've seen copies on Amazon for like $11 to $12. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna grab a copy off of there because I'd like to play it again.
Yeah, I might check it out too then.
I mean, it's software, they got incredible shooting. They know what they're doing there.
I already own it, so therefore Mike has it anyway. So
well, there you go.
You should have said I was installing it. But yeah, so I mean, so here's another thing I thought about too. Where's the battle royale mode? Because this is the new thing, right?
Oh god!
Like, okay, out of the this is something where they could really be different and have something enough that people will be interested in. You start in the match, you find some basic chassis or whatever, and you can pimp it out a little bit. And so you focus more on the vehicle combat more than anything else in a post-apocalyptic setting. It's Mad Max Royale.
Here's the thing.
That's something that's different.
I freely admit that the sight and sounds and chaos of 100 war rigs all speeding around in the desert, crashing into each other, does have its appeal to my testosterone, if absolutely nothing else. But I definitely wouldn't want to see them do that and sacrifice what made the original great. Does that make any sense at all? If they can do that as a completely optional side mode while also delivering, that core single player experience that all of us enjoyed, then sure, why not? You know what? What the heck? Go for it.
Mm-hmm. I'd just be interested to see what they do. I think it could be something pretty unique. And I mean, maybe not 100 war rigs. That might be a little overkill. But like, okay, you have like a certain amount. You have a certain amount of them, and so it's like, okay, people are rushing to get them, and they randomly spawn. And like people are trying to get get the war rig, have a good time, screw around. But like, have it be an optional mode, like call it Anarchy Tour. Like you spawn in a random spot, you get your area, and you just start to say, okay, I gotta get this car, I gotta get this moving. Or you kind of like you wait for other people to come by to another one, you sabotage it. Or like here's another thing too that like for battle royale games that they don't really do, and actually actively discourage alliances. Like in PUBG, if you are playing one versus 99, and they catch you working with another player, you could be banned. You can be banned from the game for that. Maybe not so much now anymore, but they used to do that quite a bit. That was actually a big point of contention. Say, what if you actually had like a temporary alliance mode, or like a mode or a mechanic? So like, let's say you run up to somebody, you can actually initiate an alliance, but it only lasts for 5 minutes or something like that. And as soon as that 5-minute timer is up, that alliance cannot be formed again. And so that would be something a little bit different that no one else is really doing.
Here's something that I just thought of. Do you think if they implemented a PvP mode in Rage 2, because I just watched the trailer just now.
It's pretty crazy, huh?
Do you think that the PvP mode could be a hero shooter a la Overwatch? Because think about it. They showed the one dude that's like an android, so he could be like a defender or whatever. They showed the big dude with the machete, so he's like your tank. Then they showed the girl with the twin gun, so she could be like your assault character. Is that a road do you think they would go down if they had a PvP mode?
I don't think they could do a hero shooter.
I don't think so. I think it's a little too different. I like where your thinking is, but I just think that's way too different, all things considered. Now, I absolutely believe there will be not different classes, but like different kinds of equipment that you can customize your character with and so forth.
Yeah. I just want to see, like, okay, this is something I think about. Because, like, that kind of game screams character customization.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, it does.
It's got to let you go all out, too. Because I want to be walking around with my crazy-ass giant fat dude running around. Like, look at the trailer. Like, it has, like, a whole big, like, back, like prongs and spears coming out of his back. Like, yeah, let's go. Like, that's what I want to see. Like, I want to see him go nuts. I want to see him go crazy. But at the same time, like, I want to be able to run around and meet other people who look drastically different. But I got to see how that goes. I'm really excited about the game, but I really want to see gameplay tomorrow. That's the big thing. I want to see the gameplay. So, all right. So next topic, move on. Let's Fame's got something to throw in here. Anything else about Rage 2 before we move on?
No, I'm just like I hate to be this guy, but like I want to kind of hold my thoughts until tomorrow. So next show I definitely have more thoughts on that. It's just because I didn't play the first game, like my opinion will be kind of skewed on it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens tomorrow. Then I'll definitely go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's completely understandable. And I'm really glad. I just want to give a big shout out to the marketing team, honestly, the way they've handled this. Because honestly, the way that whole thing leaked, and I don't want to get into that because that's been talked to death at this point by everybody, but the Walmart Canada leak, that could have ruined things for them, but they rolled with it, and they got a lot of people, a lot of eyes to focus on it. It was a great marketing turnaround.
Do you think this was really planned for E3?
Well, Pete Hines came out today. Pete Hines came out today, who's the director for marketing over at Bethesda. He was saying they always plan to kind of tease things like on Friday. Just the Canada thing kind of sped up everything with the Walmart. They said, like, okay, we planned it, like last Friday was the plan for, teasing it and then Monday reveal. But they said that because of Walmart Canada, they had to speed up the process into that week. And so like, okay, we got to do this faster. So that's what they did. But yeah, I mean, I think this is one thing too, especially. I'll ask the last question about Rage 2. Do you guys think this is coming out this year?
Ooh.
I hope not.
And if so, when?
It has to come out next year, dude.
Yeah, it's got to.
It's got to. Like, if it comes out this year, then Bethesda has learned nothing. Honestly,
I mean, unless they really pull a swerve and it comes out in like August, which I highly doubt. It's got to come out next year.
Exactly. Agreed. If it's not out by the end of August, then it'll be May. And the thing is, that May slot has worked well for them. That May slot is fine.
Yeah.
So, not a lot of games come out in May. At least they didn't used to. Now it seems like
March.
Big.
March,
yeah, exactly. March or May. I feel like it's May. And then next year, what they can do is Doom 2, because the rest of id is likely working on Doom 2. Doom is a big IP at this point. That can sort of hold its own in the fall.
Now, here's a question too with Rage 2. Is it coming out on the Switch as well, or just PS4, Xbox, and PC?
I don't think that thing's coming out on the Switch. I do not
believe. If it comes on the Switch, I will be very surprised.
They got Doom and Wolfenstein on the Switch.
Yeah, they
not
do.
Not good. Maybe not the best ports, of course, but they're on there.
It depends on what kind of game it is.
Yeah.
If it's an online game, no.
Yeah, no way.
No. Heavily no. But if it's like, okay, like a single player only kind of game, then maybe there's a chance. But I think but if you look how Bethesda's doing stuff, if any game that they're reviving or that doesn't have like the strongest base initially, they normally push out for the summer. Well, not the summer, but spring.
That May slot.
Wolfenstein, Doom, you put it in that May slot. It Prey did the same thing. It's they're dropping games at that time, and if they do well, then they push into the fall slot. So exactly. People know what that is.
Wolfenstein graduated. If they did that, Doom will likely graduate as well. And I want to give a quick shout out to Eternal Shaddai in the chat. He gave a super chat. He says, Rage was released at the same time as Borderlands. I won't be surprised if they implement RPG elements like Borderlands and Wolfenstein gameplay. Yeah, I co-sign that. That seems reasonable enough. That makes sense. I'm telling you, character customization, that game, that live-action trailer screams character customization. With character customization comes upgrades, parts, optional weapons, gear upgrades, car upgrades. There's going to be car customization.
There's
all that
gotta
sort of
be
stuff. So yeah, absolutely, I agree with that.
But I think that if Bethesda's being smart about it, they're using Rage to get people's attention away from what they're really going to show at E3. And now everyone's going to be talking about, what's Rage? Let's show more Rage. Let's see this. Like, it's going to be like they're going to go to E3, and that's what people are expecting. And then they drop something new, and that's coming out this year.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels like they want to get Rage 2 out of the way here, get people's eyes on it, which, again, I think has worked really well with the marketing, because they know if it was showed at E3, it would be overshadowed. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's one thing, too. So you get it out now. It's getting this attention. This is what they did with Fallout 4, by the way. They announced less than a month away from E3, and then they said, okay, here's the gameplay reveal. It's a little faster, though. But it's getting it out of the way, and just so they kind of see how everything shakes down. But that's kind of just that. So moving on, other topics. Getting on to the other one. So we actually got some sad news to report today. So BossKey, which is Cliffy B's refuge for the last 4 years, is shutting down. Do we have an official date of when they're shutting down?
As far as I'm aware, as of a few hours ago.
I didn't know if it was effective immediately or not.
No, the way it read and the way the employees were reacting, it seems like it was pretty much effective immediately.
Yeah. So yeah, BossKey, Lawbreakers, Radical Heights. Those are basically dead now. And yeah.
It sucks because Lawbreakers had so much potential. Like when I was really excited for the game when it came out, we was legit playing Lawbreakers, and they had its issues, lots of stuff I wanted to be addressed, but I didn't think it was a bad game. It's just it was, Overwatch is the bee's knees, and people did not really like Cliffy B. The fact that they didn't release it on Xbox was a bit of an issue as well.
Yep.
It just sucks. Like I said, wasn't that Radical Heights? That was complete BS. How are you gonna jump into the battle royale genre and say, "Oh, it was a passion project"? Like, no, you were desperate to make something you thought would make you some quick cash, keep your studio open, and it failed.
I mean, he even admitted that. He outright said that. He said that Radical Heights was a last-ditch gamble to try and keep the studio afloat.
And I don't know. I feel bad for Lawbreakers. I kind of wish, another, studio could take over for Lawbreakers and make it the game that, it could have been. It's kind of sucks. It sucks to see that game go away, but Cliffy B, and what's crazy is a lot of this has humbled him. Y'all notice how humble he is now? Because when he was making Lawbreakers, he was the biggest D-bag on the internet before the game came out, and he got completely humbled, which is great, by the way, because people need to get humbled every once in a while. It sucks for the people who lost their jobs. I hope they find a job soon. I know Cliffy B isn't hurting.
They'll be picked up by Epic. They'll be picked up by Epic. No, because they're all in Raleigh and Epic's right there, and they've basically been working with Epic the whole time anyway. So I mean, Epic will pick them up. I'm not sweating that too much for them.
Yeah, I mean, didn't Cliffy B even accuse Epic of poaching his employees to work on Fortnite? So yeah, they'll probably be able to get good jobs.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. Other than that, though. It's hard because I thought Lawbreakers did have a lot of potential. I liked playing it when it was out on PlayStation. It's kind of like part of it is not even Cliffy B's fault. The other part is entirely Cliffy B's fault. Where it's like, okay, how could he have the ability to know that one Overwatch came out when they were already working on the same kind of project at the same time? Overwatch beat them. So he waited a year till after Overwatch had been out for a while and say, okay, maybe we can play it this way instead. And maybe we'll be able to pull a little bit of people from it. Maybe we'll be able to do something that way. Didn't work. So they say, okay, well, we're going to launch it on PlayStation first because it has the largest fan base and we can get some good sales out of it. But it launches the same day as Hellblade. Launches the same day as Hellblade, and Hellblade is on a media blitz. Everyone's talking about Hellblade and the permadeath feature, and they're talking about the corruption aspect. That's all anyone's talking about. And so Lawbreakers was dying to get any attention whatsoever. It's one of those things where it's like I can't blame Cliffy B for that. And the game was pretty solid from the get-go. It was a fun game. The mechanics were good. It was a good time. The problem was it just could not get a footing. And especially with the media thing where everybody was just talking about how it's failing. And especially with the Steam numbers where they're talking about oh look, it's down. Remember every article that would come out where it would be oh.
Seems like it was a weekly update.
Yeah. It was a weekly update about how many people were playing Lawbreakers or not playing Lawbreakers. And I remember the one especially too, I think that would put the nail in the coffin. It was you could put all the players of Lawbreakers in one minivan on PC. And I was like, oh. That's pretty bad. And it was, I think a lot of it, that was stuff that I don't think was entirely fair to him. But then at the same time too, I find this funny was remember when the game was coming out, he was antagonizing Xbox guys. He was going out of his way to just throw a little salt in the wound. He was doing that. And now, if you actually go look at the responses to his BossKey getting shut down letter, the people who are there supporting him, saying it's hard to do that, are all Xbox guys. Oddly enough, the people who stuck by him are Xbox guys, which is so weird. It's bizarre to me. I'm gonna go pull up the tweet right now so I can point it out to you. Let's take a look.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I totally agree with what Fame was saying. I do believe if the game did release on Xbox first, not that it would have been a resounding success on Xbox, but it definitely would have at least had longer legs than what it did on PlayStation.
If he would have released it on Xbox, period. I mean, the fact that he was, I mean, like I said, I get why you go to PlayStation first, right? I get that. Bigger install base, you feel like you can make the most money quicker. That makes completely sense, right?
Sure.
But to me, releasing it on all three platforms, you got to do that because you're already a small studio. You need to make a footprint. But to do what he was doing, which is I'm releasing it on PS4 and PC while I make fun of the Xbox, was a bad look. That's why a lot of people don't feel bad for him because he was being the biggest D-bag on the internet until his game failed.
Yeah. All right. So I'm looking at his tweets here. The very first response is from Major Nelson. He's a first-person response saying, "Sorry to hear about this. I know your team did your best, but there's people arguing about whatever." Scroll down. Matt Piscatella, Alex Chirac, or Wagerman, who's one of the longtime supporters of the show ever since the very beginning. Who's over? I met him at E3 a couple years ago. Good dude. He was in there. B Money there. Italian Clowns. Eric Jackson. Sean Labrie. Dustin Legary. Naomi Kyle. Vince Sampella's in there. Corey Barlog. Everyone's coming out for this. Like all the big name guys are coming out there saying hi. But in terms of like the fans and stuff, a lot of Xbox guys are out there kind of mourning him. Not saying anything bad about him either. Like they're just like, "Oh man, sorry to hear about this. I would love to play it on Xbox." I mean, hey, we'll see you in a couple of years. That kind of thing. I mean, it's interesting. I'm kind of pleased by it a little bit that he's kind of won some respect back over the last year. But it takes time. It really does take time because it's once you lose someone's faith or you lose someone's respect, it's really hard to get it back. But I don't know. I mean that's just interesting to me. So
yeah.
All right. So first of all, do you think he's coming back? And if so, how so? How will he come back? Anyone else?
I think he'll
I already know what's
definitely.
going to happen.
I think he'll.
I know what I think is going to happen. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say I think he'll definitely be back at some point. I don't know whether it'll be he'll try to create a new studio again and try to start from scratch, or if another studio maybe picks him up. But I do definitely think he'll be back in a year or two, probably.
I'll tell you what I think he's going to do because I don't want someone poaching my idea.
Go ahead.
It won't be this year, but it'll be next year or possibly the year after that. They're going to go out on stage at Microsoft's conference, and they're going to bring out Cliffy B, and he's going to say, "I'm back, Gears 5 this year." Like they're going to say, "He's back, the prodigal son has returned."
Oh my God.
Because if you look, the Xbox execs have been the nicest to him and have supported him despite all the crap he's put them through. And they have been very kind to him. I could totally see him being picked up for the next Gears, and they make it a big marketing stunt, and it gets people in the door, and I totally see them doing that.
Yeah, but if they pick him up for Gears, though, where does that leave Rod Ferguson though?
Rod Ferguson's still there. Remember, Rod Ferguson and Cliffy B worked on the first one and the second one together. Didn't they both work on the second one?
They both worked on the first trilogy.
First trilogy.
Yeah, here's the thing. I do agree, and don't worry. I mean, I've been saying this for a couple of days now as well. If something like this were to happen, I think that Cliffy B will go back to Microsoft, but it's going to take some time. This isn't going to happen anytime soon. He needs.
He's taking a break for at least a year. At least
minimum,
a year.
maybe even longer. I would not be surprised if Gears 5 comes and goes and he's not back yet. Just being honest with you. But at the same time, I do agree when he's good and ready, he'll go back. They'll put him in the Coalition, give him a nice role, or they'll maybe even stick him in a new studio. Something like that.
Yeah. I could totally see him coming back for Gears. Like, 'cause that tends to be how a lot of these things go. You have the one thing that made you your claim to fame. You want to get away from it. All your other things fail, and then you come crawling back to the thing you didn't want to work on anymore. Perfect example: Borderlands. Gearbox has been trying for years not to work on Borderlands 3. Every project they've worked on has failed. It's just like, okay, fine, we get it. Borderlands 3, it's coming this year. Leave us alone already. But I kind of think it might be too little too late, too. When Borderlands 3 comes out, it's going to be like they waited so long and everybody's going to be like, I don't want to play this anymore. It's too late now. But I could be wrong, as usual. So,
I thought you were always right.
I'm always right when I'm right. And when I'm wrong, I was fed bad information, and it's all Mike's fault.
What?
So, all right. Let's see. Anything else? We had covers everything else. Oh yeah, Mike. What's this thing you've been hearing about with the Star Fox thing?
I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything official, like a news article published or anything like that. But I've just been seeing in my feed on Twitter that there's a rumor that Nintendo is going to be announcing a Star Fox racing game at E3, which I don't know how I feel about that. On one hand, it's like, well, the game that I was really hoping for them to announce is a remaster of Star Fox 64 for the Switch. But on the other hand, I really do think a Star Fox racer could work in the grand scheme of things. I mean, I think it'd be a lot of fun because you have a lot of different characters in Star Fox. You give each of their R-Wings different abilities and stuff like that. And you could turn it into like not a clone of Mario Kart, but like a mix between Wipeout, Mario Kart, except you're flying. Or I do think the concept could work. I don't think it was what a lot of people were expecting when they got word of a Star Fox rumor from Nintendo.
Yeah, Demi is saying that it's supposed to be like an F-Zero kind of racer. So that's what he's saying right now.
Oh, okay.
Which I could totally see that.
It makes sense.
You know, one game I actually thought I was really... When the trailer came out, I was really pumped for it. But then, like, it basically doesn't exist anymore and it's never coming out.
What?
Dead Island 2.
Oh, good lord, yeah.
I loved that opening trailer when they revealed it.
Everyone
Okay, here's another thing, especially because this is also in the news too. Apparently, Final Fantasy VII Remake is not coming out till like 2022 or something, or 2023.
Well,
yeah,
you know.
So Square Enix is coming out now, their PR, and saying that was a joke. Read into that.
I don't believe them.
I will not make a statement.
It.
All I'm going to say is look at the cards. Look at what we've seen, talked about. Look at the info coming out of whoever works on that. Look at how many people have gone to work on it and then have left. I'm not saying anything. Just form your own conclusions based off of that.
Yeah, that's definitely a PS5 game. Definitely.
Because if that's the case, here's what I'm thinking now. It's like, is apparently Sony's E3 show where you go to die? Because think about it, Dead Island 2 was also announced at Sony's E3 stage.
Pre-2016, anyways. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's the reason why at Sony's conference all they're saying is, here's our 4 exclusive games, leave us alone. So, I mean, that's always a thing. So, I don't know. Anything else you guys want to talk about before you head out here? Yeah, we had a decent show.
I think we covered everything.
I think that's pretty much everything. Do you guys want to chime in any thoughts on Sony's E3 lineup? How they sort of broke tradition, telling us what's going to be there?
I mean, I definitely think they're going to have at least one surprise in store.
Oh,
I'm hoping that it's a remaster of Twisted Metal, even if it's Twisted Metal 2. I'm hoping it's a remaster of that because we don't really have a good car combat game, and I always love Twisted Metal, so I would love to see that. But it's going to be those 4 games. There's going to be a surprise in there. They're going to have a sizzle reel for all the indie games that are coming. And then they'll show stuff from their third-party partners. Like they'll show Destiny DLC.
Well, that's not what they said. Did you not see this last week?
I saw the 4 games.
No, they said, we're just showing these 4 games. Like, it's a break from tradition. That's it.
Well,
Like,
they didn't say that's it. They said there's also going to be a third-party segment. So yes, they will also show the third-party content from Call of Duty and from Destiny 2 as well. The Destiny 2 expansion and Call of Duty Black Ops 4 will be shown. But other than that, they've made it abundantly clear their show is going to focus on those 4 titles, which makes sense, right? We haven't seen gameplay from 3 of them. We haven't seen anything that is verified actual in-engine from 2 of them or something like that. So, it makes sense. Do deep dives on them, get people excited, probably open up with Ghost of Tsushima or Spider-Man and close with Last of Us Part 2. That's how I'd do it. That makes sense. I think there's probably going to be one surprise. In fact, I'm actually sure there's going to be at least one surprise now that I think about it, but definitely temper your expectations a little bit, Yeah.
I mean, with Sony putting all their cards out there, I mean, I don't want to say that the conference is Microsoft's and or Nintendo's to quote unquote win, but they have a chance since they kind of know what Sony's hand is already. Like they have a chance to make some moves.
They do, and I'm not sure about Switch right now. At least in terms of Nintendo, like what else could you show really? Like they kind of also showed their hand last E3 because they needed to show a roadmap of what they're planning to do. Right now, really Microsoft has the upper hand in this case.
I agree. I mean, because with Switch,
because nobody knows what they're doing.
No, they don't. So it's very, of course, that's unless somebody leaks something.
It'll happen. It'll happen. Yeah, I honestly want Microsoft to intentionally start leaking things that aren't there. Like, just start leaking everything. Like, just throw random announcements out there just to see what happens.
Yeah, I think the only thing with Microsoft's show that's definitely a given is Forza Horizon 4. I think that's pretty much the only thing.
Well, no, you're wrong, sir. Forza Horizon 5, according to Walmart.
Forza Horizons 5. Yeah, no, it's not Forza Horizons 5. We come on, we all know that was just a misspelling. But
I mean, Nintendo though. What could they show? I mean, they could show Smash if they have anything.
Pokemon's huge.
Pokemon, if they have that, if they have anything on Metroid Prime 4, they could show that. And there's that Yoshi game that hasn't come out yet. Might be able to show that. I would love to see Mario Maker for Switch.
Yep. Throw in a couple of older ports, like Wind Waker HD, maybe even like a double pack with Twilight Princess HD. That'd be pretty sweet. There's a couple of other games that they can bring over because no one bought a Wii U, so it makes sense to bring them over. I think Nintendo will have a good show. Seriously, we can't overstate, how big Pokemon and Smash are going to be as a double whammy. That's huge. But that's the whole reason that they can get away with using, start charging for online is, Pokemon and Smash. Yeah. So I think they'll have a good show.
All right, guys. So we're going to wrap things up here. Thanks, guys, for tuning out. Really, it's been great. So we're going to get this thing rolling out here. Fame had to dip out early. So we're going to do some of our good stuff for outros. Next week, we're not planning on having the show. Just we're taking a little break before we do the the pre-E3 blitz. So don't expect a show next week, but if we do have one, it's because there was something newsworthy that needed to happen. So, all right, guys. We'll do some of our outros. Fame's gone. Stan, where can the good people find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at Samuel Tolbert, nice and easy, and you can find me on ticgn.com writing news, reviews, opinion pieces. If you haven't read my State of Decay 2 impressions, please go check those out. The full review, which will be very comprehensive as much as I can make it, will be dropping on May 17th around 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be excited. Or as Square Enix would say, please be excited.
All right. And Mike?
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Multiverse Show. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, Mixer, Xbox, PlayStation, pretty much everywhere at Mike P. The Truth.
All right. So thank you guys for tuning out to the show. It's been a blast. Good topics for the night. Thank you guys for tuning out. Really, it's been an absolute blast watching you guys going at it in the chat. Thank you guys so much. We're ready to wrap things up here. Thank you guys for showing out to the Multiverse Show, episode 96, the greatest show on Mondays. And we are out of here.